Baker Mayfield doubles down on his comments about the refs. Mike Florio says he's basically enticing the NFL to fine him again. How do you feel about Baker Mayfield as a whole in this situation in general?
I wish Baker would take a lower key approach. I really do. I think Baker has struggled, and when you watch him play on throws over 10 yards, Pat, Baker Mayfield has thrown 20. He's completed 28 passes and 64 attempts on throw over 10 yards.
Ugh.
He's not been able to make throws down the field, and when he is rushed in the pocket and he is controlled in the pocket by the pass rush, he has a hard time seeing. I wish he would take a step back and put his mouth on the field as opposed to just talking.
Hey, what's he supposed to do, though? I mean, he has to talk to the media every day, you know? Is he supposed to swallow his personality? That's like a real question that I have.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think there's ways to do it. I'm not saying look, we're all different, but I think there's ways to do it. I think there's, when you're talking to the media, I think he can elicit the temperament of his teammates by motivating them with what he says. And I think if he does that, he can certainly use the media to his full advantage. But I think his play on the field has to speak in better volumes. When you've only completed 28 passes out of 64 on throws over 10 yards, you're not playing very well. And I think you need to really be aware of that.
Hey, that was an incredible, because I didn't think you were going to be able to answer that question, by the way. I thought I stumped you. And instead, you came out with, you got to elicit the motivation of your team. I mean, that was magical. And that's what you do see from a lot of the greats, right? Is everybody pawns it off on everybody else, basically. But you could, exactly. I mean, it's what the greats do.
I mean, when I worked for Al Davis, he used to say all the time, you're talking to three groups of people whenever you talk. And I would tell Baker this in a meeting. I would say, Baker, look, I'm not going to curtail your personality. You're the first pick of the draft because you have that chip. I mean, you didn't get recruited by Texas, from Austin from Lake Travis High School. You didn't get recruited. They didn't give you a scholarship. You had to walk on to Tech. Then you left there and you had to walk on. Look, I get you. I understand you. It's all you against the world. But let's regenerate that energy. Let's regenerate that passion into our teammates. And let's us build collectively a group of players that have the same chip you do. And let's focus it in the right direction.
What a speech right there. Hey, that's really impressive right there. I mean, that is a real thing, though, because whenever you're pawning off anything on everybody else, you're lifting up everybody. And anytime my teammates spoke or the coaches spoke, the locker room's listening, right? Like we get those clips, we see those. Like Pro Football Talk is something that every human in the NFL reads the next day to get quotes from everything. I mean, it's just something that happens. It might as well be the home screen of almost every NFL coach because they're reading everything that everybody said on our team and on everybody else's team because that really sets the tone for a lot of things. You can learn a lot about other teams whenever you hear what their players are saying, by the way. That's something you can really learn.